Today's story asks a simple but powerful question. Can the president appoint officials without the Senate's approval? Our story begins in 2012, during the presidency of Barack Obama. At the center of the story was a federal agency called the National Labor Relations Board, or NLRB. This board helps resolve disputes between workers and employers. But at the time, the board had a problem. Several seats were empty. Without enough members, the agency could not make decisions, and many labor cases were stuck. Normally, when positions like this open, the president nominates someone and the Senate confirms them. But the Senate and the White House were locked in political disagreement, and the confirmations were stalled. So President Obama decided to use a special constitutional power known as a recess appointment. The Constitution allows the president to temporarily appoint officials when the Senate is in recess, meaning when it is not meeting. In January 2012, President Obama appointed 3 new members to the NLRB without Senate approval. But a company called Noel Canning, which had a case before the board, challenged the appointments. The company argued that the Senate was not really in recess. Welcome to Once Upon a Case. Because the law isn't just for lawyers, it's for everyone. Even though the Senate was not conducting regular business, it was holding short meetings every few days called pro forma sessions. Because of those brief sessions, the Senate technically remained open. The case eventually reached the Supreme Court of the United States. The justices now faced an important constitutional question. Was the Senate truly in recess? If it was not, then the president did not have the authority to make those appointments. In 2014, the Supreme Court made its decision. In a unanimous 9-0 ruling, the court said the Senate was not actually in recess. Those short sessions meant the Senate still had the ability to conduct business. Because of that, the president's appointments were invalid. The decision reinforced an important principle in American government. Major federal appointments usually require the advice and consent of the Senate. And that's the story of NLRB versus Noel Canning, a case about presidential power, Senate authority, and the balance between the branches of government. Thank you for watching. If you like this story, follow along for more. See you on the next one.